So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Wherever you happen to be in the world today, welcome one and all to Coffee Talk. It is time once again for Coffee Talk Live, where we will be having some discussion about what is going on in the world today, having a little bit of dialogue with those of you who are able to join us for the live portion as we take a look at some snips from the news and talk about them. Talk about them in an open format. Of course, if you wanted to join the live portion, if you are listening to this somewhere else and you're not able to see, you can join us Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, on Prepper University, and on Coffee Talk, and that is at Coffee Talk Live and at Prepper University. You can join me on X at Coffee Talk Chat, and you can find me on fistfulofradio.com, podcasting out of Atlanta Monday through Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Friday at noon as we get ready to jump off into the realm of the ridiculous, as it were, and see what's going on in the world today. See, non-weaponized preparedness is here today. Jane is here. Helter is here. Dragon. Donna Beaver. Brian is here, as well as H12. And again, I do try to read through as many comments as is reasonable. For the benefit of those of you who are listening and not able to see, joined today by 3 felines in the room. Monkey, you can see draped over the chair behind me, having a little nap. I'm also joined by Dusty, who you might have seen in the introduction there, and Uncle keeping vigil in the corner in front of the door. 3 felines. We'll see how many are there when we finish up. I see Tuck has joined us, as well as War Queen. Glad you could make it today. Raccoon is here. As we get ready to jump off, first article, and let me know if you experienced this wherever you are. If you've experienced this wherever you are, Google's down again. Google is down again. I see Johnny Future is here, as well as Lantern of Liberty, who is well in advance of our reptilian overlords. No, that is Monkey laying in the chair behind me. Brian wants to know if I saw the troll in the earlier video. No, I don't know who those guys were, because it was like 2 or 3 of them, right, Brian? I'm not familiar with who they were. But if you're wondering what Brian is talking about, of course, I have a channel that is dedicated to nostalgia. It's like a hobby channel, and I did a live from there, and I had some people giving me a hard time, which is extremely rare over there. Extremely rare. And Spectre says you skipped me. I was the first. Were you? I didn't see you up top, because I'm reading from top down. Chillin' Dave is here. But there we go. This is the main article, and this is breaking news. Hindustan Times. How come Hindustan Times is reporting this? We're not seeing anything in the U.S. yet. Google down. Another worldwide outage perturbs users on search engines, Gmail, and YouTube. Following recent worldwide IT outages, Google is the newest victim of the supposed internet pandemic series. Worldwide online users have complained about being unable to access email, search engines, YouTube, and other services. Ironically, the issues were also reported on the internet as users faced error prompts on their computer screens on August 12th. And so I don't know why it says it's the newest victim, Google. This is the 4th time in 3 weeks, because I've reported it every time, correct? This is the 4th global outage, even though it hasn't affected everybody, but the 4th global outage in 3 weeks. So it says Downed Detector, a website that monitors online outages, instantly caught on as the first batch of complaints were reported. The graph began to skyrocket around 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The cause of the new chapter on worldwide outages has yet to be discovered, but it's already turning out to be a perplexing development as many Americans are only beginning their workday. The UK got hit pretty hard too, as I understand. Down Detector's heat map showed Google's problems plaguing Los Angeles and New York the most. Meanwhile, Houston, San Francisco, Dallas, Boston, and Chicago were marked in yellow. In the U.S., 57% of the most reported problems were attributed to search issues. 31 indicated trouble with the website, and 11 were linked to Google Drive. As frustrated users from the US, UK, and parts of Europe, Asia, and South America struggled to access workspaces, social media reactions rose to new heights. Indeed. As I catch up here, a couple of comments. Cuban nurse prepper says, hi, everyone. Marie here, Northwest Florida. A little slow, but not down. Okay. A little slow, but not down. Moki is here. Moki, there's cats in the room. And Chillin says, and folks want a chip in their head. No thanks, Elon. Yeah, because he's done the second person now. 2 people have that officially. And Tuck says, newest victim is a deceptive choice of words. And Lantern of Liberty says, I try to get used to DuckDuckGo. They don't routinely mess up the algorithms regarding politics as far as we know. Yeah, because you never know. Because I hear that about, oh, Rumble. Rumble doesn't censor you. Yeah, the hell they do. Yes, they will. They will censor you. But again, Moki, you see Monkey draped over the chair right here. It's kind of hard to see him. And Dusty, of course, is here. I'll show you again. There's Dusty. And then there's Uncle next to the door, keeping us company today, keeping me on my toes. And Chillin' Dave says, when the internet has issues, everyone looks like they live on Kensington Ave, Pennsylvania. The Walking Dead, exactly. People don't know they don't know what to do with themselves. They don't know how to function. They don't know what to do with a deck of cards. You know what I'm saying? Deck of cards was your best friend when you were in the military once upon a time. You could do a million things with a deck of cards. And then one more here before I move on. Dragon says, really hammers home the point that they have everything hooked to the internet isn't such a good idea after all. No. Well, they keep all their eggs in one basket. I mean, if it was all in pockets, a piece here and a piece there, that would be fine. Like Linux versus Windows, for example. Windows, whenever you get whatever rollout, Windows 11, Windows 12, Windows 96, it's one entire line of code. The whole program, all the programs together are one line of code. So if they go and they try to do an update and they mess something up, everything gets wonky, okay? As opposed to, say, Linux, which is in pockets. So everything works together, but it's in separate pockets. So if something fails somewhere, it doesn't affect everything else, usually. And we're in this eggs all in one basket lifestyle with computers now, where you narrow down and you have one system running everything. If something goes wrong, it screws everyone. It screws everybody. Chillin' Dave says they can't count change from the cash register. No, they don't. They can't. And man, you used to have to be fast as hell and good with counting cash. I've done that job. I've worked as a cashier in the 90s mostly. But nowadays, I mean, they've got a machine that dispenses the change for the cashier in a lot of places because they can't count the change. Or God forbid you give them, oh, I've got 2 pennies. Oh, now their mind's blown. They don't know what the hell to do. Johnny says, no, internet and people can't even read a map. What's a map? You mean MapQuest? No. Yeah, I know. They can't find their way around with MapQuest. Okay? They can't find their way around with MapQuest, with Google search. How are they going to find their way around without it? Or they follow directions. They just listen and they turn and they don't remember landmarks or anything. So they don't know how they got where they are. They don't know how they got where they are in the first place. And this article caught my attention. This is a Daily Mail article. I thought this was interesting, and I thought it makes a point without saying anything because of what it implies, and it's not true. Daily Mail riots show that Britain has lost respect for the police. Okay? So I'm going to read this and I'm going to make a point. Britain's riots showed that there has been a loss of respect for the police, and people feel as though crime has no consequences, the Home Secretary has added. Home Secretary, excuse me. Following a fortnight of violent disorder, Yvette Cooper admitted there was a need to rebuild respect for the police, respect for the law, and respect for each other. Some 927 people have been arrested and 466 charged so far in connection with the chaos on Britain's streets in the wake of the Southport stabbing attack. Anyone from the UK in here yet? Has the rioting stopped officially, or is it still going on? Because last I checked, it was on day 8, but that was like Friday. In an article for The Telegraph, Ms. Cooper launched a staunch defense of police officers who came under attack from yobs across towns and cities. She also hit out at politicians who sought to undermine the legitimacy and authority of the police amid claims of two-tier policing from some senior figures. All right. Now, what's being suggested here by the Department of Homeland Security or the Office of Security from Great Britain is that Britain now, as it says in the title, Britain has lost respect for the police. And I'm going to make a point about this. I'm going to make a point about this and follow me along. And Johnny says, I even had a manager could not give me change for a 20. Yeah, I gave him 6 cents and couldn't figure out giving me back a 5. And Chillin says, no kidding, they drive in a lake, talking about MapQuest. Yeah, of course they will. They won't know what the hell to do. And Jane says, I think they need to build up Cop City in Atlanta and Nashville. The cops need to handle different situations. Well, I've talked about Cop City a bunch of times. I'll float back into this in a second. The whole alleged Cop City, because it's a lie. The whole thing is a lie. The protesting is a load of crap. And Zane has joined us. It's a load of crap because it's already city property. It's not really a forest. It's a state-owned park that's named Forest. And there's already 2 correctional facilities on that property. And they just said, oh, it would be cheaper if we just build our fire department / police training facility right here, since there's already correctional buildings on the property. And so then you get all these protests. And the primary function is mostly for the fire department, more so than the police department. But now we get Cop City and we get protesters coming from France and Canada and South America. And it's like, who the hell are you people? What are you doing here? Everybody arrested has been from everywhere else. Other states, other countries, almost nobody from Georgia. Something weird going on. And Zane says it's the first day of college. What are you studying, Zane? But back to the point here. It says Britain has lost respect for the police. Britain hasn't had respect for the police for more than 50 years. Okay? You all familiar with punk music, right? The punk sound. Punk music. Where do you think that whole genre came from? Where do you think that whole genre of music came from? The punk culture was born out of a severe fear and disrespect for lawmakers and law enforcement starting in the mid-60s. It's been more than 50 years. That's what the punk movement was about. Counter-establishment, anti-establishment. We're going to fight back against everyone because you're constantly fighting and oppressing us. These were people that grew up in the 60s and were alive in the 70s. They were becoming young adults in the 70s that were tired of being taxed to death, lied to by politicians, pushed around by law enforcement. They got sick of it. Listen, you might not understand what they're saying if you listen to the music, but read the lyrics. Here's an example. And that's why I think it's hilarious that they're sitting there and claiming Britain is losing its respect for the police. They haven't had respect for the police at least for 50 or 60 years. Don't act like it's brand new now. I hate it when politicians act like something's brand new. I really hate that. Okay, Jane says Billy Idol. Yeah, kind of. He fits in there. And it makes me think, and this is, I know, again, anybody from the UK in here, There was a band called the Four Skins. Yeah, that was the name. The number four Skins. Okay, in the late 70s, and they had a song called ACAP. Okay, and it was an acronym for All Cops Are Bastards. It's probably, I think it was one of their biggest songs. It was a big hit. Why? Why were the people behind that song and that kind of music? They had another one called I Don't Want to Die, and it was a stab at politicians sending people to war or creating scenarios by which everybody was going to get nuked. You know what I mean? Zane says he's going for business and he wants to get his AA. Oh, that's good. Good deal. Joni says, anyone remember the chop zone in Seattle? Criminals took over a part of Seattle and cops couldn't get in there. The criminals literally blocked off all access. That's happened a lot over the years. That's happened a few times off and on. And Brian says, I don't blame them if they feel that way towards the police. But that's a problem that has been going on in the United Kingdom for at least 50 or 60 years. It's been boiling over. Don't act like it's brand new. Please. It's insulting. It's insulting. And Puck is here and he says, cats and chairs. Yes, you are correct, Puck. That is Monkey laying in the chair. Oh, Dusty is gone. Dusty left. Dusty left, but Uncle is also here. Uncle is also here. And Raccoon says that was back when lyrics meant something. Like I said, I mean, you're talking like London streets singing. It probably, unless you're from out there or you're used to it, your ear's not going to pick up a lot of what they're saying. But some of the lyrics make a lot of damn sense. Some of the lyrics make a lot of sense. And again, that was the number four skins. ACAP, ACAP, all cops are bastard. Or I Don't Want to Die, also by the Four Skins. And Dental says Punk is very likely a Tavistock brainchild similar to the hippie movement. The scene has always been rife with federal entities. Yeah, although the punk, unlike the hippie movement where they were passive aggressive, where they pretended to be passive, but they really stirred up a lot of shit. In the punk movement, they could be really violent. They could be really aggressive. But that's I just thought that was ridiculous, and I always like to point that out when politicians want to pretend like something is new, like, oh, this has never happened before. Lady, that's been happening in England for decades. Okay. Now we're gonna tear apart a fact check. We're gonna tear apart a fact check, and it has to do with Kamala Harris. Okay. And this is a Snopes article. Fact check. Picture supposedly shows crowd at Harris Waltz rally. And you see this is the picture. This is the picture of the rally, okay? And, getting off Air Force One back there. And this is really interesting to me, okay? Claim a photo authentically shows a crowd greeting Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris and vice presidential candidate Tim Walz on August 7th at Detroit Metro Airport, okay? And it goes on here. It says, in early August, Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris and her running mate Tim Walz campaigned in several battleground states, including Michigan. Shortly after they landed for a rally in Detroit, many social media users post what they claim to be a photo from the event, an image that purportedly depicted a large crowd. Okay. Now we get down here, and you look at the image verification, okay? Because here comes your fact check. This is AI image verification, right? Get a complete image forensics analysis, including the origin. Image origin, likely 96% human. All right, this is not an AI generated, according to AI image verification, not an AI generated or photoshopped photograph. 96% probability that it's authentic. Okay. Then we come down here. This is the is it AI. And this is what, let me verify again. This is a Snopes article, but I've seen this on Microsoft, no, MSN, and I've seen this on CNN also, I think. I think it was CNN. And the is it AI says that is a 58% probability that it's authentic. So better than 50% means it's authentic, and that this is a real photograph. Okay, let me show you the photograph again. I'm going to blow the photograph up for you. This is the picture again. All right, so we got two AI generators that they're claiming this is a real picture. It looks like there's 10,000 people there. I'm telling you it's not a real picture, and I'm going to prove it. Okay, let me open this up. Let me get this going. So we're gonna I'm gonna expand the actual photo, and then I'm gonna do a couple of close-ups. I'm gonna point something out to you. I love tearing apart the fact checkers. Come on now. All right, here we go. This is a picture, and they're claiming. Here we go. They're claiming that this is a real picture because you can see images in people's cell phones. All right, this is one of their images. Oh, look, here's the plane and the cell phone image, right? Now, moving down here, we're going to close up on the plane now. This is, of course, Air Force One. It is very highly polished. Very highly polished. And there's no reflection of the crowd in the plane. Then you move on to the next. Hold on a second. That's the wrong one. Here's a close-up, circled. A close-up circled here. No reflection of the crowd. I can see the tarmac. I can see like a couple of trucks. I can see what looks like maybe one or two airplane hangars reflected right here on the right. No reflection of the crowd at all. None. And again, these are images. Hold on, let me find the other one. This is this is a better representation. This is another extreme close-up. Okay. No reflection of the crowd at all. You can see it a lot more clearly here. There's a couple of vehicles. There's a building. There's another building that looks like a long hangar. No crowd. None. Yet two AI generators. Two AI generators scanned that picture and claimed that it was authentic. And they put it in the media, fact check, the photo's real. There was no one there. You'd see somebody, even if it was a small crowd, you'd see something. And let me see, catch up a couple of comments. Puck says, remember the idiot DC mayor telling the media George Floyd rioters had to be given room to destroy? That sounds familiar. And Puck also says there was an ad on Craigslist for actors to participate in an anti-Trump rally when Kamala was there. I saw that. And Tuck says the nacelle is reflecting zero crowd. And then Chris says, old saying, trust nothing you have and half of what you see. Jane says you think it's AI generated. The photo's probably AI generated, or it's at least photoshopped. There is no crowd there. It's obvious. Puck says it's obviously a fake. I've got another one for you. And Johnny says, never forget that a human programmed the program to decide what's real and fake. That's an excellent point. The computer isn't making that determination. The computer makes the decision based on how the human programmed it. And that is correct. Jane says, wow, fakeness all over. And Tuck says, I have a friend who's a professional graphic designer. I'm going to ask his opinion. Yeah, go ahead. See what he says about that. And JJ says, which begs the question of who owns those AI generators. Absolutely. Absolutely correct. And let me see here. There's another one I wanted to show. This is the rally. Okay, this is a rally. Also, apparently is supposed to be a real photograph. Johnny says, don't forget on Inauguration Day for Obama, they doctored the crowd to be bigger with more people by copying and pasting. Yeah. This is the rally. I'm close up here. Okay. Also, apparently, an authentic photograph. This is also apparently an authentic photograph, even though many of these people look like copies. They look like copies. And this guy right here who looks like he has two mouths is interesting. But the one that really catches my attention, we're going to close up right here. This guy in the front row that has like 3 arms. Do you see that? And one of the hands is backwards. He also has 6 fingers, 7 if you count the thumb. There's a thumb, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7 digits on one of his left hands. And you see this, it looks like a football game. But apparently this is an authentic photograph. And I'm going to, let me see here. I got a better picture of that guy. Here we go. And Jane says people's eyes are crooked. Incredible. And Chris corrected that. He says, nothing you hear, half of what you see. That's right. That is right. And Zane says, I don't trust anything I see on the internet these days, including videos. You got to be careful. And Tuck says, remember the cropped photos showing kids in cages. That sounds familiar, but I'm not sure if I remember. And Puck says, do you remember, don't you remember a few weeks ago, Google AI generated black dudes when asked for a portrait of the founding fathers? That's right. We showed that here. We showed those images. They were making black Nazis. They were making native Indian, native Indian soldiers in World War I and all kinds of crazy stuff. Her eyes look backwards too in that shot, don't they? And I'm going to find, but this is the, let me back that up. There we go. That's the photo we were given. Hold on. There's the real one. This is the actual crowd. Notice that the upper tiers are empty. And then the second balcony section, they've dropped a big screen in front of it. And from that, you get this. You know, another thing that is a dead giveaway. Look at their T-shirts. See the shirts? Can you read any of that? For those of you who can see. Zane says the Taylor Swift deepfake was more convincing than this. For those of you who can't see, I'm going to tell you right now that what's written on their shirts is completely intelligible. It's like you can't even tell if they're letters. And if they are letters, they look like letters, but you can't even tell what language it is or read it at all. And as you may recall, AI has a great deal of difficulty reproducing written language. You can see, again, on the shirts here, you can't hardly make out what any of that says on what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people's shirts right up in the front row here. You can't read it. Can't read it. But yeah, believe everything they tell you, or else. It's all true, I swear. It's all true. Another thing I thought was really interesting. Let me close up this image again. This is the plane. The red guy. Do you see the red guy? 1, 2, 3. Extremely tall, bald men in a red shirt. Like up towards the front here. 1, 2, 3. What are they, like 9, 10 feet tall? Are they standing on chairs? Why are they so big? And why is it only the red ones? Oh, no. I know. And Eric says, and there's no way every single person would be looking forward. No, it's impossible. And Puck says some lefty posted the rally pic on X saying it was Trump's and he deleted it. Tuck says, want to see some very old fake news? Look into the story of the Monongahela monster. And Zane says it's very concerning that this AI detector can't even tell. No, it's not supposed to, or it was told not to. And let me see. Johnny says, get a close-up of the guy's face, blue shirt and beard, and look at his eyes. Yeah, right here. Yeah, he looks like he's high. One eye's going forward, one eye is looking into his brow. But a lot of them look cockeyed, and it's mostly on the right eye. Here, here, here. This one, I don't know what happened here because it looks like he has 3 eyes. This one, this one, this one, with the glasses on the far left. The man with the hat behind the woman with the white hair and glasses looks like he has 2 mouths. You know, the more you look at this, the more problems you can find. Donna says CNN said that Harris is beating Trump in the polls. Yeah, of course. That's what they were told to say. That's what they were told to say. And again, you know, I don't trust polls. You cherry pick polls. You cherry pick people in the polls, decide who you want, and get a result that you were hired to get. When I worked for the polling service, again, briefly, just a few months in the early 90s, you were hired to get a result. And you cherry picked. And it's easier nowadays because you have computers to do it for you. If you, how many times have any of you ever tried to take a survey and got kicked out of it? Oh, sorry, survey's full. Try again some other time. They throw you out because you're not meeting the criteria. You're not going to give the results they're looking for because they're supposed to have a better than whatever percentage. And then if they, when they're done with their polls, they don't have hardly anybody anyways. You can't, again, you can't poll 800, 1,000 people and tell me that that represents the entire United States. Brian says they could put the actual red guy from Cow and Chicken and they'd be convinced this picture is real. But I don't trust any poll. There's polls I would like to hear. I'm sure there's a poll that says that Trump is ahead. I'd like to believe that because I think he would be a better choice than Harris. But I don't know if it's true. And again, how many people? Did you interview 740 people? That doesn't represent everyone of voting age who's legally able to vote in the United States, does it? It's just not realistic. Or like Mark Twain said, there's lies, damn lies, and statistics. Johnny said people are so dumb they don't even stop for a minute to look at a photo. They don't have time. They got to post that TikTok video by 7 a.m. and make a clickbait video for YouTube, pretty much. But they don't research anything. No one's going to sit here and do what I just did. And very few people are going to have the patience to do what a lot of you have just done, and that's sit there and just follow along. And, you know, maybe do some of your own research. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to do it. It's a shame, isn't it? People are so lazy. They can't be bothered. But that's fact-checked. That's been fact-checked. It's true. Those, oh, real images. Yeah. They're not fake at all. And people, oh yeah, see, that was true. There was a huge crowd for Harris. Was there? Was there? Puck says when you type in, is this Harris rally picture fake? The answer says no. When you type in, is this Trump rally picture fake? The answer is yes. I'm not surprised. Spectre says that the two by the lady with the hair are the same, other than the shirt. Yeah, they do look very similar. They're very similar. But again, it's an auto generation. Johnny says, had a coworker tell me about polls. He took it every day, and I don't have the heart to tell him. Yeah, you can't trust the polls. And again, you go do the data. That's why I pick polls apart, because I want to see the data results. Okay, so you got a thing that says 72% of people think that Tim Walz is a great vice presidential pick. 72% of who? People that your algorithm cherry picked, of which you only actually polled 580 people, maybe 700 people, maybe. JJ said Mark Twain also said that God made idiots and practice before making school boards, as practice before making school boards. And Jane says, as you said before, humans are dumb and some of them are lazy. Yeah, people are not that smart. I'm sorry. They're just not that smart. And then we got this, and this is the oh duh news of the day. NBC News, Democratic National Convention speakers will include Biden, Obama, and the Clintons. No. Really? Will they all come out again? Obama, Biden, and the Clintons are going to be at the DNC? You know that they're Democratic royalty, all of them. They're all in the club together. They're all in cahoots. They all have their puppet strings tangled. Of course they're going to be there. Why is this even an article? Oh, thank God they're going to come out again, because I haven't heard enough from any of them. Can't you retire? Hell, you rarely hear from George Bush. Can't you just freaking retire? Shut up and go somewhere? Lay on a beach? So here we go. Several prominent Democratic figures are set to speak at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago this month. Two sources familiar with the plans told NBC News it's not the DNC unless people are chanting the whole world is watching. President Joe Biden, former Presidents Barack Obama and Bill Clinton, and former Secretary of State, she'll never ever go away, Hillary Clinton, have been confirmed as speakers at the convention. Obama and the Clintons delivered speeches during 2020 DNC, which was largely held virtually to prevent the spread of the C virus. Oh, thank God, because we don't want them to make people sick. A source familiar said that the former President Jimmy Carter's grandson, Jason Carter, is also confirmed to be speaking as a representative for his grandfather. Yeah, okay. Oh, no. Talk about dragging him out. And nobody knows who the hell Jason Carter is. What the hell? What do we care? The convention, which is scheduled for August 19th through the 22nd in Chicago, takes place weeks after Biden's announcement for his withdrawal from the race, following widespread calls from Democrats to drop out after his disastrous June debate performance against former President Donald Trump. Oh, they're admitting it was disastrous now. NBC, because they were putting him on a pedestal before. Oh, he's so great. Oh, he did fine. Oh, Trump was a bastard. Now they're saying it was disastrous. All right. His campaign suffered major losses in donations, and some backers withdrew support for the president amid the fallout. Vice President Kamala Harris, who ran unopposed for the Democratic presidential nomination, after Biden dropped out of the race, she did not run unopposed. She was installed. No one else was presented. That's why she was run unopposed. I'm sure there are people who would have liked to have tried, and they didn't get a chance. She was installed. Tuck says, I can't stand celebrity worship, and the left are obsessed with worshiping celebrities. Johnny says, why do people say Democratic? Anything should be Democrat, not Democratic. There's nothing Democratic about a Democrat. No, there isn't. And we don't have democracy either. Everett says, panning to the left, I zoomed into the left of the women, and it's bizarre. They are out of proportion and don't even look like human beings. Are we in a matrix glitch? Pretty much. Pretty much we are. It sure feels that way. It sure feels that way. But yeah, big surprise. The Democrat loyalty or royalty, Democrat royalty will be at the DNC because they never go away. They never go away. Please just retire. Although I don't think we'll be hearing from Biden much longer. I'm pretty sure. I don't think there's much left in the tank there. Although then we'll probably be hearing from his wife all the time now. When he fades away or drops dead, we'll be hearing from his wife. They'll parade her around and talk about his legacy. 50 years in office. 50 years in office, suckling at the taxpayers' teat. Absolutely incredible. These people. It's incredible. Puck says it was a coup at the Republicans and the Republicans let him get away with it. Talking about people getting away with stuff, we'll go back to Waltz again. They're trying to cover for his military shortcomings now. And this is a Center Square article. Questions remain over Waltz's military service after Harris campaign says he misspoke. He misspoke, guys. It was a mistake. Oh, I didn't mean to say that. It slipped out. I misspoke about my military career. U.S. House Republicans and military veterans are demanding answers from the Pentagon and Minnesota Governor Tim Waltz on his military record after several claims have resurfaced. Waltz was picked as Vice President Kamala Harris's running mate. The two are the presumed Democratic nominees for president and vice president. And as we've been reading recently, this guy's track record as a Minnesota governor is actually really, really bad, really creepy. There's a lot of weird stuff and a lot of stuff that you probably don't want to have to deal with if he gets into a position of national power. Okay? But he's also drawing a lot of heat for claims that he made about his military prowess. Criticism of Waltz's military record have existed since 2006 when he first ran for Congress. Republican members of Congress and veterans are again raising concerns, including Vice Presidential candidate U.S. Senator J.D. Vance, a Marine Corps veteran who served in Iraq, U.S. House Representative Jim Banks, Navy and Army veterans who have deployed, including Afghanistan and Iraq. Waltz, who served in the Army National Guard for 24 years, claimed in 2018 that his goal was to ban Americans from purchasing weapons of war that I carried in war. Quote, that no person, and I remember this, no person should have weapons, only people in combat, apparently. So weapons of war that I carried in war, and that he claimed that he fought in combat. He also claims that in 2005, before his unit deployed to Iraq, he retired from the Guard to run for Congress, and his rank was Command Sergeant Major. Questions, and we know that's not true. Questions have been raised for years about his deployments. Waltz, who served in the 1st Battalion, 125th Field Artillery, was deployed in 2003 to Vicenza, Italy, to support Operation Enduring Freedom, the U.S. invasion of Afghanistan, but he did not go to Afghanistan. He did not see combat in Afghanistan. Vance has taken issue with Waltz's military service characterization, saying at a recent Michigan campaign event, I wonder, Tim Waltz, when were you ever in a war? What was the weapon you carried into war? What bothers me about Tim Waltz is the stolen valor garbage. Do not pretend to be something that you're not. I'd be ashamed if I was him and I lied about my military service like he did. Similar claims have been made before. In 2018 when Waltz was running for governor. Retired National Guard leaders posted an open letter on Facebook saying he embellished and selectively omitted facts of his military career for years. In 2009, a veteran reportedly confronted Waltz's former congressional staff, claiming he violated the Stolen Valor Act of 2006 because of claims he made about Afghanistan when he was never deployed there, according to a video released by the Calvin Coolidge Project. But now they're going to sit there and say, Waltz Harris says that he misspoke. Oh, I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean to say that. It slipped out. Johnny says a politician's two favorite cards in a 52-card deck are the race card and the misspoke card. Yeah, he misspoke. You could have long since corrected that. If you actually said that, he could have later on say, I didn't mean that I carried them more. I meant weapons that soldiers carry. He could have fixed that. He could have fixed that way back in 2018. Immediately. He could have fixed it way back in 2018. I meant weapons that might be carried in combat. I didn't mean I was in combat. I didn't mean to mislead anybody. He could have fixed it then. He could have fixed it then. Why are you still carrying it all these years later? Cyberjack Sr. has joined us. And Puck says, I can tell you from personal experience, there are people like Waltz in the military, Blue Falcons and Spotlight Rangers. Yes, indeed, you are correct. There are a lot of them that are like that. It's all about the accolades. And they'll put on a show for you, and they will lie. They will lie. They'll lie to get ahead, and that's what this person did. That's what this person has done, and he's being called on it. It remains to be seen if it will be taken serious or not. It remains to be seen if it will be taken serious or not. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? He should be called on it. It is stolen valor. I don't care if he was in the military. And like I said, I've gotten some harsh comments about that, what I had to say about it. About how I shouldn't be allowed to talk about it if I wasn't in the military, or that, oh, well, he served 24 years, give him a break. That's a long time. So you're telling me that the tenure is more important than his actions. And I can't accept that. Everett says, is showing up to rallies. I only go as close as 10 blocks away, and the Democrats were selling MAGA stuff. Fortunately, they had plenty of speakers set up. Imagine Democrats making from Trump. Yeah. And Savage says he had a coin made with a rank he never had, and had it after his DD 214 was corrected and rank lowered. So he knew he was claiming a rank he never earned. They call them challenge coins. He blatantly had a rank he didn't earn or hold. Yeah, because when he retired early, he was demoted to an E8, but he still claims to be an E9. Highest rank attained, E9, but that's not the rank he retired with. You lost it. You lost it. And what are you going to do? What are you going to do, folks? You lost it. And he's been living off of that, lying about it. Yeah, 24 years in the service, that's fine. But what did you do? You know, it makes me think of an episode of Taxi where everybody had to get jobs. They had to get jobs outside of the cab company for a few weeks because there was a strike at the garage. Do you remember that episode? Some of you might remember this episode. They had to get a strike. They were on strike at the garage, and Elaine was with a guy who he went to the boardroom every day, and they didn't even know that he worked there anymore. And she convinced him to speak up at the board meeting. And when he did, he got fired because they realized that he should have been retired out like years earlier. So he had skated under the radar for like 40 years, and no one even knew he worked for the company. That's Tim Waltz. That's Tim Waltz. I wanted to share this. Everybody's been talking about this. All right. Everybody's been talking about this. I wanted to share it. I don't know. I've got to leave the sound off. Golly, this thing. Okay. This is the elephant in the room from the Olympics. And that's the Australian B girl. Okay. The Australian B girl. And Yahweh, what Yahweh says, I remember that taxi episode. I'm 47. I saw a rerun of the episode years ago. Let me show you the Australian B girl really quick. Did I open up the right one? Oh, hold on a second. I opened up the wrong one. I messed it up. This is the right one. Who's seen the Australian B girl? This is fascinating to me. All right. I'm going to run this. Is this on? It's not on yet. There it is. I'm going to run this really quickly for you. Watch this one.
So imagine you from Australia and you done lied on.
Okay. She's pathetic. That's absolutely pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. All right. And I'm looking at the article now because she's been interviewed since. Let me get that open. As I try to catch up a couple of comments here. Fox News article, Australian B girl who was mocked over breaking performance fires back at critics. So now she's upset. Jane says, okay, question. My son gave me his tags from the Army and I wear them sometimes. Is that bad? No, as long as you're not claiming that they're yours. If you're wearing them for your son, that's something else. And there was that comment from Yahweh. Savage reminds us he took a place that could have went to another under the contract. He would stay till 2007. He'd be awarded that rank permanently for retirement. He did the school and left before that. So he never met the conditions to claim the rank. Tuck says it's funny how the leptomaniacs are fawning over a guy they'd be calling a murdering colonizer if he was a Republican. Monkey says, oh, her, yeah, she should have gotten negative points. Yeah, and she's one of the few people to ever score a straight zero. A straight zero. They gave her all zeros. But now she's firing back. It says, breaking was on the Olympic scene for the first time in Australian B-girl Rachel Gunn, a.k.a. the Ray Gun, drew criticism and ridicule from her performance at the Paris Games. Now, I'm going to say, first of all, I saw some of the breakdancing. I thought it was pretty good. I don't know if it belongs at the Olympics. It's kind of like ribbon dancing. Does it belong there? It's not really a sport to me. Although you have to be really athletic to do it. It's like professional wrestling. That's not really a sport, but it takes a lot of skill. I mean, people have been seriously injured and killed in the ring. So these breakdancers are really athletic, but I don't know if it counts as a sport. So here we go. Gunn, also known as Ray Gun, defended her dance moves. The 36-year-old scored 0 points as she tried to wow the audience with a, quote, kangaroo dance, among other moves. Gunn told ESPN she has no qualms about her performance. And here's her point, quote, I was never going to beat those girls on what they do best, their power moves. Gunn said of the competitors in her group. What I bring is creativity. Creativity is really important to me. I go out there and I show my artistry. Sometimes it speaks to the judges and sometimes it doesn't. I do my own thing and it represents art. That's what it's about. No, what you are is a diversity hire, and it's pathetic. Okay? It's pathetic. You took the place of a real street dancer who might have had a shot because you're a DEI hire that was sent there. That's sent there from Australia. Her entire career reeks of DEI. Do you know anything about this woman? Her doctorate in creative dance theory. Is that what it is? Is that what it is? Dental says my tinfoil hat theory on Reagan is similar to my theory on Joe Biden. These people are being paid handsomely to make white people look terrible. And Savage said she single-handedly got that whole breakdancing thing canceled. Is it not coming back? And Johnny says, my question is, who let her get that far to even get into the Olympics? Fire that person who felt sorry for her. They were probably hoping for a participation medal. And Puck says, breakdancing, good or bad, it's the Olympics. It's the dumbest crap I've ever seen. It's pathetic. Yeah, like I said, I mean, some of those people were pretty good, but it's not, I don't think it's a sport. So I don't know what it was doing there. And Monkey says, this is what DEI looks like in practice, paid her way to be in that spot. And Savage says, shows having a degree means nothing. Experience trumps all. Exactly. She was horrible. She was absolutely, it was laughable. It was a laughable performance. And she's patting herself on the back. You know what she is, honestly? That's your answer right there. She officially trolled the Olympics. She got in there, had no business being there. She's got a degree in bullshit. She's not a professor. It said she's a professor. She's not. She gives lectures at an Australian university. I don't believe she's full-time employed there. I could be wrong about that. But my understanding is she's a lecturer. And she gives lecture on urban dance theory. 12 years in college. Gets into the Olympics somehow and takes the place of someone who better deserved it so that she can look pathetic. She robbed someone of an opportunity. It's really kind of sad. She robbed someone of an opportunity, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Puck wants sweater knitting to be an Olympic sport. And Savage thought it was an SNL sketch. Thought it was an SNL sketch. Hey, they'll probably make fun of it on Saturday Night. Well, they don't call it Saturday Night Live anymore. It was funny when it was Saturday Night Live. Now it's SNL. What are you going to do? Like how people say Kentucky Fried Chicken was still good when they called it that instead of KFC. But she robbed someone of an opportunity. I'd like to know how she got that far. Who looked at her and said, oh, yeah, you qualify. I'm all about the creativity and the art. Modern art, it's not very creative. It's pretty bad, actually. It's pretty stupid. And that's what we got from her. A really bad performance. But she's going to pat herself on the back. You can't tell her she did anything wrong. Tuck says, I've seen some pretty awesome breakdancing that wasn't breakdancing. What's with Australia? They just had a leading university biologist sentenced for some really, really bad acts. Really. But with that, we are at the top of the hour, so I will go ahead and sign off. I still have Monkey and Uncle in here with me. They managed to hang on. So I will go ahead and start signing off. Again, you are listening to and or watching Coffee Talk. And if you wanted to join the live portion, you can find us Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, on Coffee Talk and Prepper University. That's at Coffee Talk Live and at Prepper University. You can find me on fistfulofradio.com, podcasting out of Atlanta. You can find me on X at Coffee Talk Chat. So thank you, everybody who was able to join us here today. Hope you got something out of the conversation.